Sing is the new animated film from Illumination Entertainment that stars a whole ton of celebrity voices, and it focuses on this koala bear named Buster Moon, voiced by Matthew McConaughey, who's running his own theater that unfortunately has been going through some pretty rough times. His shows really haven't been that successful, and he doesn't have full financial support. He keeps getting calls from the banks, but Buster Moon decides, you know what, I know exactly what the people want to see. They want to see a real talent from real life, so he puts on a singing competition, and the prize money is $1,000. Unfortunately, there's a typo on the flyer that he hands out, and now it says $100,000, and a whole ton of animals come to audition. And out of everyone who auditioned, Buster Moon picked a select few of people to actually perform. A few of them vary from a pig who's a mother to 25 other piglets, a Frank Sinatra-esque mouse who's very arrogant, a gorilla who's having daddy issues and doesn't want to follow in his footsteps, as well as a variety of other characters that have their own little things going on. Now, unlike a lot of the other animated movies that came out this year, Sing wasn't something that I was really hyped for, because Illumination Entertainment I'm very iffy about. I enjoyed Despicable Me 1 and 2, but Minions, The Lorax, The Secret Life of Pets, not a big fan. However, there were certain aspects about this movie that I was looking forward to seeing how they would portray it, and after seeing this movie, I will say that this movie was actually pretty fun. What I felt really elevated this movie to be the fun, solid time that I thought it was its characters. They were, for the most part, really fun and entertaining to watch, one of them being Buster Moon, voiced by Matthew McConaughey. He was actually my favorite character in this movie because he actually had a heart to him. There was an emotional connection that I shared with this koala. Mainly because even though he is a very optimistic guy, he really is determined on running his shows at his theater. He really loves the theater life. There's so many obstacles in his way that he has to overcome, and it looks like maybe he can't overcome them. And there are actually a couple of moments in the movie where I felt really sympathetic for the guy. I could relate to him. And I honestly really wasn't expecting much as far as emotions go in this movie, but honestly, I walked out feeling the most emotion for the Buster Moon character. It wasn't anything that brought me to tears, but it did get me to feel something in this dark area that I have. My second favorite character, though, hands down, my Twitter BFF himself, Seth MacFarlane as Mike, who is basically Frank Sinatra as a mouse. He's very arrogant, he has the same kind of dialect in his voice, he sings like him, he even dresses like Frank Sinatra. I was enjoying myself the most and laughing the most at this character. He was very entertaining in this movie. And I know a lot of people might say that this is a biased opinion because I have expressed before that I'm a big fan of jazz and Frank Sinatra, so seeing a character like Frank Sinatra, that's my favorite, no surprise there. But I honestly did feel like Mike did the best job singing out of anyone in the cast, and the songs they chose for him to play were perfect. I did it my way. He honestly did steal the show for me, and this has been something I've been saying about Seth MacFarlane for a while. He has been a part of some projects that I've been, a little iffy about. He's done good and bad, but him as a singer, he's incredibly talented. Honestly, he's one of the most underrated singers that I know because he is so good at it, and maybe this movie can actually bring more attention to his singing talent. He doesn't just do Family Guy voices, he can be a fantastic singer. Listen to his 3 albums. One of them, or both, or all of them, it doesn't matter, just listen to him. One big surprise I had with this movie was the character of Johnny, a gorilla voiced by Taron Egerton, who is in Kingsman. I really enjoyed him in that, and I also really enjoyed him in this movie. I was really curious going in, not just because this is an animated movie and the only other movie I saw Taron in was Kingsman, but also singing-wise. How is he gonna do there? And he blew me away. He honestly did. When Egerton started singing, my mouth literally dropped. He was that good in this movie. And even as a character, I think Johnny had a lot of heart, and I think he had a very pleasant arc. Rosita, voiced by Reese Witherspoon, I was actually a little nervous about going into this movie, but I think she actually did a very good job. Reese Witherspoon obviously can sing, she's done it before, and even though she sings Taylor Swift and Katy Perry songs, which honestly for me, not my favorite kind of songs, she still did a good job singing them. I will give her that. And also the character of Ash, voiced by Scarlett Johansson, was very entertaining in this movie, and she actually got to sing a song that is original, because for the most part the songs that they sing we've heard before in real life, but then you have Scarlett Johansson's song, which is new for the movie. And she did a fantastic job singing, and I was blown away. But then I realized, oh wait, I've heard her sing before. That was something I kind of keep forgetting, is that Scarlett Johansson can actually sing. It was like when I was watching the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, she's really good. oh wait, I already know this. Which leads me to another positive. Whenever the characters do start to sing, no matter what kind of style music it was very fun to watch. There was a lot of energy going on, and the cast does a really good job singing the songs. They're all really talented. And this is coming from me, who mainly just sticks to jazz music. I had a lot of fun with the songs in this movie, especially the last 20 minutes, I want to say, of this movie. That was also really, really fun. That was the most entertaining. And this is kind of an obvious pro, but whatever. The animation still looks very good. That's something Illumination is very consistent with, even with their bad movies. I may not like the Lorax, but hey, at least the animation looks beautiful. And that's the same thing here. The animation is very bright. It stands out. The design for the animals looks really good. And there's also one scene that I particularly really liked involving animation, and it involves squids. I would just leave it at that, but those really look good. The humor in this movie, on and off for me, honestly. Some of the characters were getting me to laugh, like Mike, Buster, and even Buster's friend, Eddie, voiced by John C. Reilly. I thought he was very entertaining and funny in this movie, too. Especially there's one scene involving a car wash that I was really dying with laughter at. Very funny moment. However, there are some jokes in this movie that I felt fell a little flat. And it's nothing offensive, it's nothing so stupid that you want to gouge out your eyeballs or something like that. It just didn't really go over well. You can see what they were going for with the joke, it just really wasn't executed properly. For example, the character Miss Crawley, voiced by Garth Jennings, the director of this movie, her character is pretty much there to be the funny, crazy old lady lizard who has a glass eye, keeps losing it, messes stuff up. I was never offended by her jokes. I can see some people laughing at her, but for the most part of the movie, I just really couldn't get with her humor. I just didn't really find her all that funny. The same goes to another character named Gunter, voiced by Nick Kroll, who was very funny in another animated movie earlier this year, Sausage Party, where he played the douche villain. I was extremely scared going into this movie because of this character, because I was afraid that I was going to be very annoyed by him, and he wasn't annoying. That being said, he just really wasn't that funny, and his whole character is to be funny. He has no backstory, there's really no motivation for him to actually want to be a part of this competition. He just kind of shows up and acts really silly, and that's his whole character. And if you don't find him funny, that character is really going to fail for you, and that character really failed for me. There's also one other character in this movie that I wasn't too fond of, and it's Mina, voiced by Tori Kelly, the shy elephant who needs to overcome her shyness over her arc in this movie. And it's a very cookie-cutter character. We've seen this before, and when I saw the trailer for this movie, and they were hinting at this character, you know, doing the shy thing, I was like, okay, we've seen this a lot before, like in many other movies, especially for kids. So they're gonna have to do something really special here, maybe introduce a new element to this kind of character trope that makes her stand out. And they really didn't do that. Coming from a shy guy, I didn't really share an emotional connection with this character. I didn't really feel like she stood out among the other characters too. In fact, if they had just cut her out of the movie entirely, I probably wouldn't even have noticed that there was supposed to be another character there. And no offense to the voice actress Tori Kelly, this is her first film. She is a singer in real life, and she is very good at singing. When she sings her song, she's great. There's one moment where she does Hallelujah. That was pretty cool. It just felt like the actors were really clicking with these characters. But then whenever Tori Kelly went to deliver a line, it just felt really flat. It felt like she really wasn't really having a connection with Mina as a character. I didn't really feel it. Even though Tori Kelly was great at singing, I maybe don't think she was the right choice for this character. My big issue with the movie, though, is that this movie really isn't anything that new. If you've seen the trailers and thought, I know exactly where this movie's gonna go, you're probably right. After seeing a few scenes of this movie, you can kind of predict what's gonna happen next, how this is gonna affect that. And my thing on cliches in movies is that if they use it to create a brand new experience that impacts you in some way, then I'm okay with it. And even though I did have a fun time with Sing, it's a solid movie, I just didn't really feel like they were creating something new with it. Sure, I had fun with this movie, but I didn't really feel like I was ever watching anything new or groundbreaking as far as animation goes. Moana is a movie that felt very similar to other Disney movies, but that movie impacted me. I felt like they created a brand new experience with that movie that I had never felt with another animated movie before, and that's why I love it. With Sing, yes, it's a fun time, it's a solid time, it's just I didn't really feel like they were doing anything new, to, and I think they could have done a whole lot more with this story. And even near the end of the movie where they're ending some of the subplots, some of them just kind of ended abruptly in my opinion, and there was one shot of one ending of a subplot that made me think, oh, there's going to be one more scene after this to kind of close it up, right? And there wasn't, and I was just kind of sitting there like, well, what happened? You kind of left it there, obviously, right? Right? But overall, I'm gonna give Sing a B. It is a fun time despite its flaws with the script and overall story, and I do think 3 of the characters could have been a little bit better, but it is fun. The musical numbers are done very well. The cast is very talented. Most of the characters I had fun with, especially Mike. Kids will definitely love this movie, and adults, though, probably won't love it like Kubo and the Two Strings, Moana, or Zootopia. They will probably end up saying, you know what, that was a decent time. But if you've seen Sing, leave in the comments below of what you thought of it, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.